Now, one of the things that I've realized in the United States, and I recognize the necessity of it, so it's not me criticizing that this is taking place, is that the social distancing feels more like social alienating at times.
Definitely. People, if you go outside, you will see people are wearing hand gloves and they have a face mask on. So people have been cautious, even though the social class difference is high. Like even the most poor people will have masks now. Even they can't afford anything else, they have bought face mask and hand glove to prevent themselves from getting coronavirus. So you will see that. However, in Dhaka, like most people are not getting out. At least the rich elite class of people, they're staying at home, and all their groceries and getting food from the market, they're doing it by their chauffeurs or house helpers. Like specifically the elite class, they're not going outside, and we are in a lockdown till April 25th, so most of the shops are closed. Only few food shops are open. Pharmacies open till 6 p.m. However, superstores are open only till 2 p.m. during the day. So most of the time you will not see any people on the street, even though there are a lot of people who are still working, specifically the daily wage workers. They still have to go to work, otherwise they're not going to get money to buy food for their families. But most of the rich people in Dhaka, they're staying home, so they're not going out even to get food, or they're not even going to a fast food restaurant to get food. Our food delivery apps are open, so you can order food using Food Panda or Uber Eats, but you won't see a lot of people in the restaurant to buy anything. Most people are very scared, and the government has also precautioned everyone to stay home and in self isolation, and most people are doing that right now. Because in Bangladesh, it's so highly densely populated. If there's a mass gathering, the coronavirus disease will spread very quickly. Like it will, like so far we have 1,231 people affected, but if everyone starts going out, it will spread even faster. Like everyone will get it because it's highly densely populated country. It's one of the highly densely populated country in the world.
Now, what about your friend life, your social life? Now, I imagine you probably went out before the coronavirus happened, might go out to dinner with friends or colleagues. As much as I think Zoom is fantastic, and it's great, I'm not complaining, as much as it's fantastic, there is something I miss about uh, grabbing a beer with some friends or um, going out to a dinner party. Um, are you feeling any kind of, maybe not stress, but any
Yes, yeah, of course, definitely. Coronavirus has made my life static. So yesterday it was Bengali New Year. April 14th is Bengali New Year, and this is one of the biggest festivals of Bangladesh. It's even bigger than Christmas or Eid or Ramadan, like because we people from all religious backgrounds, we celebrate this event together in Bangladesh. And yesterday it was the Bengali New Year. We usually go out, we dress up, we go out to different carnivals, festivals, we go out to restaurants to eat Bengali food. And this year we couldn't do that because the government has said there will be no mass gatherings on Bengali New Year and no one will go outside. So we stayed home, we couldn't meet our relatives, we couldn't meet our friends, and it felt really bad because we always look forward to Bengali New Year every year because it's such a big festival. Everyone will wear red and white saris or dresses, and we will all go out as a family and meet other people, meet friends, and have a meal together. We couldn't do that this year. This year, we were all stuck at home, and we just zoomed or Skyped with everyone just to wish everyone a Bengali Happy New Year. That's about it. Also, recently, my cousin's wedding was cancelled due to COVID 19. About 800 people were invited, and we had to cancel the wedding at the last minute. The wedding was supposed to happen on March 17th, but on March 16th, the government said there will be no mass gatherings. On the 16th, we had to cancel the entire wedding. Can you imagine? My cousin has been planning this wedding for over a year now, and we had to cancel the wedding.
I hope they got their deposit back.
At least they got the deposit back. They did, yeah, they did. They got their deposit back.
Did they do any? So basically, I know that people whose weddings got canceled, some of them are saying, "We'll just have it later. Everyone's still invited. Um, same potatoes, right?" Other people
Yes.
are saying, "Listen, we'll have a festive gathering. We'll have a celebration later, but we're getting married at the courthouse today. It's going to happen." And so they'll have a small three-person gathering, a legal requirement that's met. Did your cousin do anything like that, or did they just push it forward?
So my cousin, what we did, we had a very small family gathering. We had about 30 people in the house instead of 800 people, because organizing 800 people wedding takes a lot of effort, right? Like, to invite 800 people, you have to go to their houses. Like in Bangladesh, it's a formality that you have to go to a certain person's house and invite them personally, otherwise they won't come to the wedding. I don't know if you have this if you have this tradition in the US, but in Bangladesh, in order to invite someone, we have to go to their house and invite them. So 800 people is a big task, and my cousin didn't want to do that. Like, a lot of people said like we can have a bigger wedding later, but they just said like they have already planned everything and they had to cancel it, and organizing this whole event would require a lot of effort. So what they did is, on March 17th, we had about 30 people in our house, and we had a small family gathering to celebrate the wedding. That's what we did. They're not having a big wedding in the long run.
Can you tell me a bit about the shirt that you're wearing? I think I've seen it before. Um,
So this is high five for SDG 5. It means high five for gender equality. So SDG 5 is the Sustainable Development Goal of the UN, and I represent SDG 5, which is gender equality. So about 6 years back, I organized a gender equality campaign in Bangladesh, and three people from all over the world were selected. And I'm one of the three of the winners. So the other two were awarded from Indonesia and Philippines, and myself from Bangladesh. So I think the biggest challenge right now, which I'm really sad about, is daily wage workers losing their job in Bangladesh due to coronavirus, and they're suffering from food shortages. So I would like uh, people to come together to mitigate this crisis. Like, a lot of my friends, a lot of NGOs are working towards feeding these people, and it's not a problem only in Bangladesh. It's happening in countries in all over the world, specifically in developing countries like India, Pakistan, Nepal, Myanmar. So wherever you can, I think please donate money who are helping daily wage workers. It's going to help them a lot, because a lot of people at this point are going to bed hungry without getting access to food. So if you can, please help them.
and is there a specific organization that you think really warrants attention?
So BRAC is working in Bangladesh to mitigate this crisis. You can go to to their website www.brac.net. You can find out more about their initiative and how they're helping daily wage workers get food on their table. You can also donate if you want. They're working with a lot of slums in Bangladesh to give people access to food. Also, I think, um, what else? In Bangladesh, there's a NGO called Jago. They work with providing education to poor children. They're also helping BRAC to get food to these people. You can work with them. Also, I think you can donate to International Rescue Committee. They are helping refugees. Refugees are also facing a lot of problem during this pandemic. So if you want to donate, you can also donate to International Rescue Committee as well.
Are you familiar with the notion of the 100-year storm? The So
100-year storm? No, what is that?
so basically, let's say um, you and I, we are constructing a bridge together across a river. And we need to plan on the construction to weather yearly storms. And we know that the worst storm in a year, if we were to only construct this bridge for the worst storm, well, 5 years later, there might be a much worse storm. And 20 years later, a much worse storm. So it's the idea that um, within 100 years, a 100-year block, you should plan for the worst storm in that 100-year period, right? That's how you should plan the construction of your bridge. And I think something is probably similar in Bangladesh with flooding or California with earthquakes. Now, one of the things that concerns me about this crisis is that even for those people who were planning for that 100-year storm, this might be worse than a 100-year storm. And I'm not trying to, I think, to be honest, I don't think the virus is a world-ending event or anything even close to that. But it is clearly worse than that 100-year storm. So even if we were to prepare for what we saw as the worst possibility in 100 years, realistically, this might surpass that.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, because in Bangladesh, people are already accustomed to living in a situation where there's a big storm. They know how to handle it. They know what to do, like what would be the next step, and how will the government and other people will help these people who are affected. However, with coronavirus, we don't know what's going to happen next. Like, even if we find a vaccine or even if we find a medication, we don't know if it's going to solve that problem. A lot of people are talking about new vaccines coming out, but even for those vaccines to work, it will at least take a year, right? With clinical trials and with actually knowing like if the vaccination is going to work or not. Also, another problem is, as Bangladesh is a developing country, we are going to be one of the last countries to receive those vaccines, because these vaccines are being developed in developed countries, like in Europe. Like, one person from Oxford is a professor from Oxford is developing a vaccine, and she's saying that she's sure that it's going to work 80%. Like, she's sure about that. Then there's a lab in China who's making the vaccine. But for us to get access to this vaccine, it's going to take a very long time. I don't see it happening at least in the next 2 years for us to get access to those vaccines.
2 years.
Yeah, because the vaccine still hasn't been made, so it will at least take a year to see if the vaccine is working or not. And to get access to those vaccines in Bangladesh, like even to make those vaccines and try it out, it's going to take at least 2 years, right? If you think about it, practically, like, that's my hypothesis, but I think it will take at least 2 years to get access to these vaccines for everyone. And another thing is, the poorest people are not going to get access to those vaccines, and that's going to be a big challenge, because if they get access to it, it has to be the government who has to provide it. And I don't think our government has the capacity to give those vaccines to everyone, because even the polio vaccine, then the influenza vaccine, not everyone gets it in Bangladesh. Only people who can afford it and who have access to those health services, they get it. A lot of people are not vaccinated for even a thing like diarrhea or influenza or measles. A lot of people don't get access to those vaccines. So in Bangladesh, the problem is going to be much more for coronavirus, because even if we find a cure, a lot of people are not going to get access to that cure.
Thank you, Fabia, so much for coming on. I appreciate it. As usual, welcome insight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ari. It was nice chatting with you after so long. Have a great day.
You too.